was giving shit to this game. Nothing prepared me for what I was about to experience. Iron Lung is a short horror game made by David Szymanski. You know, the guy that made, that game about stapling your wife with squirrels, yeah. In a bleak world where humanity is fading, you, a convict, are tasked to explore an anomaly in a supposed barren moon. Going on a makeshift submarine to explore an ocean of blood on a set place. There was no time for training. You are welded inside a chunk of metal. If you are lucky, you will earn your freedom. Doesn't this sound fun to you? It isn't. Our ocean is scary enough. Why does it need to be made of blood and be on the moon? Regardless, let's see what this is all about. Upon starting the game, we acquire some information about how the world is and more or less what we are here to do. Decades ago, every known star and habitable planet vanished, leaving only those who were in space stations or starships. This event became known as the Quiet Rapture. Scary enough, this quiet rapture isn't the usual end of humanity situation we tend to see in some games or movies. Not by some kind of alien that kills everyone, but instead we see the end of humans in a monumental scale, and not just us, whole planets too. Even more terrifying is that we don't know what caused it. For the years after that catastrophic event, the remaining survivors start scavenging for any breadcrumb of natural resources in a dead universe of barren moons. One such moon being the one we are tasked to explore. And just like that, we are alone, confined in a claustrophobic space, with only the creaking sound of the iron lung. This thing was not made to this kind of depths, the reason why we got welded inside. Our only way of navigating these waters is by using a paper map and some coordinates. There's no UI map telling you exactly where you are, which makes you even more scared not knowing exactly what's ahead, but on the other hand, more engaged on the mechanics of the game, since you are constantly changing from the map to the coordinates panel. You can also use this proximity thing to see your bearing and if something is close to you, like any walls or anything that lies dormant in this supposedly inhabitable place. Lastly, the most important part of the iron lung, this button that when pressed makes an image of what is in front of the submarine. This is the only way to see a glimpse of the outside world, also being a kind of scary part of the game. Every time you get to a point of interest, you need to physically leave your coordinate panel, walk to the dark corner in the back, click a button and just wait patiently for the image to process and show you what is outside, right next to you.
Mamá huevo. Digo, glu, 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 glu.
Okay, but let's get to work. We need to get our freedom, right? The first 3 points of interest serve more as a tutorial of sorts, to teach you how to maneuver the iron lung and how the mechanics work, being very accessible areas to go to. The first location shows what it seems like some rocks, coral. There's way too much noise in the image to make out exactly what it is, but in the game files it's called Big Obelisk. The second area nearby shows some slender pillars called in the game files whale bones, meaning there was life down here. The third point is more tricky to get to, but manageable. Getting closer, you start hearing something, ground or water being dragged. Whatever it is, it's moving. Taking a picture, it shows what I thought were some worms initially, but in the game files they are called artifacts, so this can be some kind of functioning structure of sorts. Going to the biggest area of the game, no slim paths or anything blocking our way, we can just move forward. What the fuck was that? So, we are not alone here, are we? This part starts building up the tension in such an amazing way. Everything was calm with a suffocating silence. Then, you thought you were going through a walk in the park path. Something appeared. Something you can't see. You can't attack or do anything. It most certainly was something alive, and it just went near you. Taking the next picture, it shows this. Now, going back to the terrifying silence of the submarine, in the back of your mind, you know you are not alone anymore. The next point just shows some more bones, named in the files whale skull, really coming to show and make us question what type of creatures lived here, or still do. How did it die? Did it die of age, or did something kill it? In the subsequent place, we get to the hardest area to access yet, but also the weirdest, showing what appears to be a structure with windows. Trying to leave the place, something knocks the ship, changing our coordinates by quite a lot. Nothing showed in the radar, so what could have made it do this? Well, let's not think too much about it. After all, we still have more places to go. Next objective, more bones. Great. Going through what I think should be the way I get to my next point, and also the hardest path of the whole game. Very slowly and calmly, I step closer and closer to my objective, until... What the fuck is going on? Is it that creature again? No, it can't be, it's different. And it's so weird, it's not exactly the submarine moving. What is this? I don't know what that thing was, but we need to get out of here. Oh, I moved locations again. Thanks, I guess. Only 2 more. Only 2 more. This one is easy to get to. Just some more bones. Only 1 point left now. Although, weirdly enough, I feel like something is going to happen. All these bones, the sounds I've been listening going around me while I explore. Maybe I'm just getting paranoid. I fucking knew it! Wait, this is actually not good. It's following me. I can't go around it. I have gotten its attention too much. Let's just go to the next point and finish this. We need to earn our freedom and get out of here, right? Our submarine was torn to pieces by the big fish. For now, the wreckage can't be reached. No photographs were recovered. Although we died, was there really a point in all of this? If humanity is already so advanced to make spaceships and colonies in other places, why do we need to travel to such a dangerous place with that junk? And even if we survived, was there really anything for us out there, aside from a couple dying stars and hopelessness? Alas, we have already met our end, and those questions are not important now. The universe, what's left of it, is dying. But maybe, somewhere, hope might appear. Okay, I still have so many questions, so let's get back in there! Let us now talk about the little pieces of lore I've left to tell you. Here we can ask this PC terminal some very important questions and sometimes get an answer. Let's first go over the outside world. As I previously stated, the Quetch Rapture was a phenomenon that made every known place that had sentient life, flora and fauna, habitable atmosphere, or any form of natural resources apparently gone. Only a few hundred humans that were in space stations and spaceships at the time of the Rapture remain. 2 of the main ones are the Eden and the COI. Eden is the largest man-made station structure that still exists. It was formerly the main station for Mars, and the population still maintained a strong sense of Martian patriotism and independence, having a population now of 468. It also has the only known remaining trees in its garden. The COI, also known as the Consolidation of Iron, is a brotherhood of 3 space stations and 2 spacecrafts, founded on the principle of collectivism and democracy, containing a population of 257 citizens at the moment. Being the 2 biggest stations and the last remains of human civilization, of course they have beef with each other. The tensions between the 2 already existed for a long time, but after the incident in the Filament Station, the COI considers Eden a threat. The Filament Station was the 4th and largest space station in the COI. The tensions with Eden got so big that a 9-day conflict erupted in the station. The battle only came to an end when Eden's troops sabotaged the station's reactor, causing the place to become inhabitable due to high levels of radiation. Prisoners taken during the conflict go through something called conviction realization, to repay their debts and get integrated into the COI. To go more in depth into what exactly a convict realization is, let's put it on the terminal. This seems important. Convict realization is a humane form of criminal justice used by the COI, where crimes are repaid by rendering service to the general collective. Often this is by performing surveys, maintenance, or other similarly beneficial tasks. Redacted. I think we should take all of this with a grain of salt, because all this data we are seeing are written by the COI. Also, we play as a convict, as stated in the beginning of the game, and let's be real, this whole thing we went through doesn't seem that humane as they say, and it seems like we really aren't the only ones that saw the horrors of this ocean. This is not an expedition, it is an execution. When they put you in here, they don't want you to return, and even if you do, and even if they keep your promises, what freedom awaits for you? A few dying ships in a sea of dead stars? If there is still hope, it lies beyond the veil. Hope in this void is as illusionary as the starlight. I will choose to breathe my last at the bottom of an ocean, unseen, unheard, and uncontrolled. They will get their execution. I will get my freedom. This person is fully aware of what their fate is in the COI hands. This is possibly one of Eden's people that got captured. This letter really shows their spite and lack of any allegiance against the coalition. Looking up Blood Oceans, the literal reason we are here, it's stated that the COI apparently don't know much aside from what we already know from the start, taking the fact that multiple of these moons have been discovered and the blood they contain is indeed human blood. How does it maintain the liquid form? Why do they only start getting discovered since the Quiet Rapture? Well, to that, I don't fucking know. What I know is that if we replay the game and instead of going to the last point of interest and go to this area, we can find this, a wreckage of another submarine, also torn apart into pieces. Perhaps another convict? However, it's still visible on the side the serial number of the submarine, so if we put SM8 in the terminal, we can read this. Hopefully they don't redact it before updating the database. What most people don't understand is that not all subs are built equal. The SM8 isn't a burner sub, it really is for exploring and surveying blood oceans. If they send you down in the iron lung, they don't give a fuck if you come back or if the sub comes back, because it's a pile of garbage and you're a piece of shit. You come back with photos? Great! You sit down there and suffocate quietly, even better. But if they send the SM8 down, one of the scientists is piloting and they all expect them to return. And now the SM8 is in the blood ocean in pieces. No, not hit a rock pieces or sprung a leak pieces, looks like something tore it up, and the weirdest thing is that nobody else seems surprised. We might have found the first planetary life since the Rapture, and they're acting like it's no big deal. I know you're next in line for the realization in the iron lung, and usually that means you won't be seeing the stars again, but they don't have a SM8 anymore. They have 3 burner subs and a lot of curiosity about 85, and maybe that means you have a chance. This pretty much explains most questions, confirming that all that talk about getting my freedom back was bullshit. This expedition is solely meant to kill us as a form of punishment. Even if we survived the fish and got all the pretty pictures they wanted, they would have just leave us to suffocate. The submarine wreckage we found was their last actual exploration working sub, so now they only have these shitty ones, using them and the convicts to achieve some kind of result of the suicide expeditions. If you die, oh well, that was the initial objective. If you somehow survive, great, they will suffocate you and get their grabby hands on the data as a bonus. Another thing that caught my eye is the fact that they seem unsurprised by the presence of living organisms in these oceans, meaning that the higher-ups and some people already know the existence of more life forms that exist even after their quiet rapture. Who knows what more they have hidden from us? Maybe the reason to this rapture was already discovered. Maybe it was some kind of failed experiment some people did. Perhaps there really are way more life forms out there than we expect. Perhaps there is still hope for the future. In reality, we don't know anything, we are just a grain of rice in this story and world. Only thing we know is that humanity is fading, and even in its darkest moment, we fight each other and forget to see what really matters.